I'm Ryan Mahoney with San Ramon Valley Fire, and this is our mobile communications unit. It was originally built back in 2003 as a backup 911 center. It was actually more valuable to be able to put it on wheels and additional office space back in the time. So our deputy chief said, "Hey, we'll put it on wheels." He's a ham radio operator as well and a pilot. So a lot of our stuff is built on redundancy and having backup plans for everything. So we have a whole bunch of different radios from low band to handle CHP. We have aircraft AM radios. We have VHF, UHF, 7-800 trunk systems for our basically anyone that we need to talk to, we can talk to. We have amateur radios that can do DMR, and we have some DMR hotspots. We have one VHF and one UHF hotspot. Every single radio in this room can be controlled by the computer via their headsets, so they can transmit, they can cross-patch radios together to be able to talk on their headsets. Or if we have a computer issue, they can pick up the speaker mic and they're able to transmit on the actual radio itself. Up here is our technology and kind of mapping plotter area. So we have a 24-inch plotter that we're able to print out large maps. We can take a GPS, have a helicopter flight around the perimeter of the fire, take that information back and plot it. We also go out on with our SWAT team, so we can print out maps and street imagery of different target houses to be able to put it on the side of the rig. They can mark it up and draw. And this area is our technology rack. So we have every single band of radio from low band to 800, and then we can patch them together, and it intelligently patches. So if you're patching onto a trunk system, it'll actually store the audio information and then play it back half a second later, so people are able to get the full transmission. As well as our networking equipment. So we have FirstNet, AT&T, Verizon, about 12 volunteer reserves that are able to drive the unit and operate it. So most of us are ham radio operators, and we get to use this a lot for public service events. So it goes out for bike rides, runs, other VHF nets that we run. And with that, we can monitor the public safety frequencies and then also relay that instantly to the ham radio operators out at each station, or the other way around, where the ham radio operators can call in a medical over the radio, and then we can pick up the hand mic and dispatch the appropriate units right from the same unit. And it allows us to get out, test everything, make sure everything's working. And since we're all reserves, the price to the district is only the fuel of the generator. So for a low cost to have it tested in a public service environment, and then it just is ready to roll when we have our next SWAT call out or our next fire or our next backup and dispatch requirement. So back here is kind of our main conference area. So this is where the incident commander or when we do police events, we'll have the crisis negotiation team set up back here. General office supplies, printer, scanner, copier, pens, paper, post-it notes, and they can work back here, and they have access to a radio and a computer, and they're able to pull up what we need. We often have a lot of people meeting in here. We've had like 15 to 20 people all kind of crammed in this small area when it's pouring out rain, but everyone's able to have a nice meeting spot away from the elements. We have a weather station outside, pulling in weather information, wind, rain, and everything else, and a row of battery chargers for our HTs, as well as tables and additional antennas and everything else that we can fit in here. In the back here is kind of our galley area. So we have a sink, microwave, coffee maker, and we have a stock fridge of waters and coffee creamers that we can access. In the back here we have a bank of 6 Android FirstNet AT&T phones that we can Here's one of our hotspots. So for DMR, we have both a VHF and a UHF hotspot for use with our DMR radios. And we also have a bathroom on this side. It's a little bit small, even smaller than an airline bathroom, but it gets the job done when you're in the middle of the field or when you're at a school and the gates are locked and there's no other place to go, so it is valuable to have.
Well, thank you for the tour.
Yeah, my pleasure.
2 boxes of cache radios, Medex King radios, which we take out usually on fire incidents. A portable repeater that we carry on board, so we have a mast that we can put stakes in the ground and guy wires and put an antenna for the portable radio. Another cache of UHF radios for just use around the vehicle. Cat 5 wires, telephone wires. Underneath here we have a couple of batteries that we carry on board charged. That's to operate the remote repeater. If we put a repeater up on a hilltop, we want to be able to power it, so that's what we use those for. We have more electrical cables, charging unit for the batteries. These are stands for miscellaneous portable signs that we can put up. Staging area, EOC locate, different signs with arrows and things like that that we can put up for incidents. Again, more phone cables and computer cables. More signs, chairs.
Backwood adventure bumpers and roof rack and ladder on the other side. These provide a decent amount of protection. Unfortunately, we had deer bounce off of these, whereas if we had the plastics, the entire front of the vehicle would have been gone. We install a 12,000-pound winch on here, lighting. We do all the lighting, suspension, anything needs to be done. We do it either in-house or get it done, so we can have a one-stop shop essentially. Come around this side, we have inputs for exterior radio antennas. We can put up a mast antenna, drive on mast base. We also have inputs for cellular, so we can set up a small cell bubble, Verizon cell bubble over this, extends nearly a mile out, the bubble out, and then we can use Starlink to send the signal out from there. Starlink hooks up in here. We also provide an Ethernet port that goes either in or out, so we can provide internet to another vehicle or bring in internet from a cable. And 30 amp input for short power and a 15 amp input, so you can either just use an extension cord or use get bigger power down below, and then more exterior power. Lots of things in. Scene lighting, electric awning, and power out and in, AC power both sides on the outside. This is a fixed step, but we have an automatic step that goes in here. We don't particularly like this one. Coming inside, we can start in the back and work way forward. This is the back side of that wall. We got a nice sized loft up here for supplies to put anything we need up top. Small fan here for air circulation so we don't get claustrophobic back here. You got 3 computer terminals back here. Each one of these monitors has its own computer right behind the monitor itself, so each one is its own computer system. They're all wired together through a server wirelessly and wired. 5,000 watt inverters down below here. Got routers down below, printer here, red and white lighting for nighttime, being out there at night and not wanting too bright. Printer, copier, fax machine, large whiteboard on this side for doing planning, a fold-up jump seat over here that allows you to have a belted passenger here, and it still allows for walking around here, so you can actually have the seat down and still use it. Personnel in here. Going forward, I have lots of storage throughout here. This is all just big storage for T cards and so on. Radio banks. Underneath that box there is a diesel heater. It's a stationary heater, which is plumbed into the fuel tank, run for days off of the battery power here. And coming forward, comm center, as your driver's seat turned around, again has its own computer around the backside. This is a server here, gooseneck lighting for nighttime ops. We can have space for another monitor up top. The lagoon table can swing out and use the table either here or on this other seat. And this other seat is for operations, good position to oversee the whole thing going on. Scene lights, interior lights, the bumper lights and so on, so that's reachable from driver's, passenger, or from inside here. We can control all of our lights from inside here. My name's Adam Morton. I'm with Nimble Vehicles, and we build out a incident command vehicle on, in this case, a Sprinter. 170 wheelbase. In the Sprinter, on the rear of the Sprinter, we have it set up as such that it's similar to a fire command set up in the back of a pickup, or fire command set up in the back of another fire vehicle, and that we use these for evacuations. And so we can have similar setups, and it's familiar to other agencies. Large whiteboards we can put up here, put the information out there for anyone to see. The van itself does not have a generator. It has 810 amp hours of battle-borne lithium batteries. And then on the inside we have a 5,000 watt inverter that has a 10,000 watt peak. It's more than enough power for this, but we are able to power other things if needed. All of that is that we don't run a generator. We have batteries and about 800 watts of solar on top for recharging. We can also recharge the batteries via shore power and 15 amp or 30 amp, either depending how fast we want to charge it. And then the vehicle itself charges with the DC to DC charger at 75 to 85 amps at idle. So you can start the engine and charge your battery. Only time the engine's running or necessary to run is when you're running the air conditioner, which is actually built into the vehicle system. The compressor's built onto the engine. Otherwise, there's no need for an engine. You can be out there for multiple off periods without running a generator or recharge.
Yeah, they like them too. There used to be more in here. There's like one on every the nice thing about this trailer is its size. So you really can do it. Depends on what you're trying to accomplish. So when they built it, this whole thing was built with ICS in mind. So each seat is a position in ICS is what the idea is. Never really used it in that way. This is typically where the worker bees kind of work in here. And this is typically where all the managers. So back when joint fires was a thing, we would go to the CAL FIRE camps and get CAL FIRE maps so they remember when they wanted them. So our bosses were like, "Get her out printer, grab them." But it just kind of depends. I mean, you can make the space kind of do whatever you want. So we use it a lot, like the way I just kind of did it, but.